Hey everyone, it's Joe. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. If you're new around here, I create videos related to journaling, stationery, and design. And today I have my quarter 1 favorites. And this video just outlines the stationery, notebooks, and pens that I've been loving for the past quarter. So January, February, March. And I just want to talk about how I've been enjoying everything and to highlight things that I use quite frequently but don't get to mention in videos here and there. So that's the purpose of this video. We are going to look at 3 different categories: notebooks and notebook systems, pens and fountain pens and inks, and then the last one is just like miscellaneous stationery items. We will dive straight into it. We're going to start with notebooks. The first notebook that I want to talk about is this Traveler's Factory cover. This is a Traveler's Factory A6 book cover, but I'm using it to cover my A6 Hobonichi Hone. I was gonna say Tetro, but this is the Hone. And if you are new to the Hobonichi world, the Hone is just the A6 Tetro with a hardcover. I did a full video about trying this out in another video, so I'll link that down below. But I've been really enjoying this leather cover. I know it defeats the purpose of having a hardcover Hobonichi Tetro, but I don't know. We've already discussed this in the previous video, but the seahorse one or the dragon cover is this fabric cover, and a lot of people have come to the consensus in the comments, and I've made this consensus, or not decision, this conclusion as well after flipping through and feeling other Hobonichi Hones. The fabric ones are a little bit thinner than the other covers, so they are a little bit flimsier. Some people like that. I really do like a harder cover, so I thought I would just put a cover on it, a cover on a cover. I mean, Hobonichi loves doing that, so this is kind of like my own cover on cover, but this has been kind of aging nicely. This is a camel leather from Traveler's Factory. This is the same camel leather that they use on the Traveler's notebooks, and I don't know, I just love it. I love how simple it looks. If you have been following my channel, you probably know that I love the Superior Labor natural leather A6 cover. It's just simple like this. It's like a slip cover, and it has no closures, and I absolutely love that, and I guess that's why I love this too. So I feel like I need to stop buying A6 covers because I have ones that I absolutely love. So that's the first favorite. The Filipino accent came out. That's the first favorite. That's the first favorite. And then the second thing is obviously the contents of the cover, or like the insides of this, which is the Hobonichi Hone. I've been really enjoying it. At first I thought I wasn't gonna use it, but honestly I've been pretty good. Like, I've just been writing like daily like events in the monthly section. Nothing too like decorative. It's pretty plain. And I like that. It's just like a simple view of your month. I think I'm realizing that not everything needs to be decorated. I know that's a common thing for most people, but for me, I like over collage everything. So it's nice to see something a little bit more plain. And then I started using this. I believe the true start date that I started using this is actually this day, February 24th. Basically after I got back from Japan and the pen show, I started using this and I've been loving it. Let me show you a format that I really enjoy. So this is kind of how I've been journaling as of late. I journal in the evening or in the mornings, and I usually fill this out throughout the day. I've been doing a daily log of what I've been doing. It's actually kind of fun to track, actually. And then I just journal about this the next day once everything has finished. So if I was, writing about this on the 19th over here, on the 20th in the morning, I'll like journal about it here. So I have the full, capture of the day and like what happened that day. So I've been liking that. I'll probably do another video talking about, the details of this, but just know that I've been loving it, and I can't wait to see if I will stick to this, because I journal usually in my traveler's notebook for my like daily journal, but that's a lot more decorative. And honestly, this is a more decorative spread, but let me just show you what another spread usually looks like. It just has like writing, a sticker, and some lettering. So it's really just about the logging of memories, rather than like art journaling, which kind of happens in my traveler's notebook a lot more. So that is the first favorite. Really like it, and I just love holding this. It's just so fun to like. I just want it to patina. I have really sweaty hands usually, but I don't know. I'm getting my yearly stress. I don't know what this is. Eczema. I don't know. It happens right here all the time, but yeah, I've been loving this. And then let's move on to the next like notebook favorite. I've kind of showcased this already on Instagram and on other videos like on Patreon, but this is my plotter horsehair 2 in black. You might be wondering why it's extra shiny. It's because this was an experiment or tester plotter. This was sent to a shoe repair craftsman in Japan, and they wanted to experiment what it would look like. This leather that's been usually has striations on it. What it would look like if it was polished with shoe polish and finished in a very shoe-like manner. It looks really cool actually. You can still see the vertical striations on the horsehair, but I've been really liking this. I'm not using this right now because I'm using the green horsehair in A5 because that's the tester from work, and you might as well use the tester. So this is the one that I actually own, but I'm trying to use the testers so they have a little bit more patina, so when we go to events people can see what the leather will look like once it's aged a little bit. But I've been really liking this, and it obviously has some customizations. This has the leather hardware customization that we did at the California Pen Show, and then this has some custom painting on it from one of the co-workers at the Japan office. Yohei-san did it for me before I left. It was so nice. So this is like a little extra special treat because I received this when I was in Japan during my travels, and I don't know, it's like a very prized like piece of stationery because it holds so much memory and fun times in it. And I also got to see different aspects of like the creation of this notebook. So I got to see the leather tannery in Himeji, and then I got to see the back plates being anodized, and I got to see the ring assembly. It's a whole thing, and it was so cool. So this is a nice memory of that time. Moving on, I have been enjoying this stamped TN that I stamped. I probably alluded to this in like a Patreon video, but I did stamp it. I actually showed the process of stamping this on Patreon, but holy crap, I love it now, even though I'm still trying to make peace that this doesn't have that full stamped image. But I think it kind of adds to the stamping vibe to it. It looks like it was stamped, which is good. It's not just like a printed on perfect print. So I don't know, it feels special that way, and I've been using it a lot. And you know what, I think I'm at this point where I have quite a bit of traveler's notebooks, and I have not been using them long enough to build a patina, and so I have kind of dedicated I don't know the year, but I kind of want to dedicate pretty much this year to use this in some capacity in my setup, because I just want to see it patina from start to finish, because I have quite a bit of traveler's notebooks and I kind of swap out of them every month now, and so my newer traveler's notebooks aren't developing that nice patina. So I just want to see actually how long it would take to build that like super shiny patina, just using my hands and my natural oils and moisture in my hands. So it's a little experiment, but yeah, I hope I don't swap this out anytime soon. But yeah, it's just a regular camel, and I've been loving not having a charm on it. I think I've gone pretty intense in terms of customization that I now also really enjoy like a plain traveler's notebook. Obviously this is the opposite of plain. There's literally a giant print on it. But in terms of like accessories and like little bits and bobs on it, it's pretty plain. But I've been loving this. And then the thing that I want to talk about inside is actually, I've been loving monthly memory keeping. This is my monthly spread for January. I just love how like simple it looks. I just realized I used to not enjoy monthly logging because I just never knew what to do with it. But the moment that I stopped overthinking it and just writing down a little memory or like a 2-word summary of the day, it's been really cool. And I think, not overthinking it has actually helped. So sometimes I just write like, I worked from home that day. It was laundry day. Sometimes I just put a sticker there. Nothing particularly exciting happened. So I've been really enjoying it. This is my Japan one. When I was in Japan, and it was fun because I could just write like the main thing that happened that day, and it felt like enough. So I've been liking this. And then March, I think, is probably the most like colorful and vibrant, just because I had access to my printer, and so I had extra pictures from when I was printing stuff for my daily journal, and so I just cut them up tiny and put them in my monthly calendar. And I still like this. And in the little spaces in the bottom where it says note, you can see right here it says note. I just write a little blurb of what happened, or like a highlight for that month, a little summary. And I like it. It's like simple, and I love how decorative it looks, but it's not too much. Some people might think this is too much, but for me, this is like a pretty tamed amount of decoration and doodling. But I've been really enjoying just doodling and just using like mild liners and whatever markers I have here. It's almost like a sticker a day kind of vibe, but I don't pressure myself to use a sticker. I can use I can doodle, I can write, I can just letter. And yeah, this is what April looks like so far. See, even here I just put like TGIF, and that feels enough for me. And then in the same vein, I've been really enjoying the vertical weekly insert. I actually had to use this for work. So if you're following the Travelers Company USA newsletter, you might have seen photos of this spread actually, because we were trying to promote the vertical weekly a little bit more. I think the weekly plus memo has like a pretty big cult following, but the weekly vertical was needing a little bit of help, and so we decided to kind of push that a little bit more. And so I created test spreads for this page and then this page, and I was really liking it. So I wasn't working on it in Japan, but when I got back after the pen show, you can see that this is the first week of March. I was using it here. I was using it here. This is when I was in Korea, in Vancouver, and then I used it here. I was also in Vancouver, and then this was this was still in Vancouver, and then this is the current week. And I think I like this spread a lot. It looks really busy, honestly, but it is just a form of my daily log, my weekly, not weekly schedule. Like in my Hobonichi Hon, you saw that in each day I use the daily schedule, and basically I just use that as inspiration when I'm filling this vertical spot out. So it's not as detailed as my Hobonichi Hon daily entries, but it still has quite a bit of information here. I've been really liking logging when I wake up and then when I eat my meals. It's kind of fun. And yeah, I try to put my fun found ephemera in here if it's small enough. So this Uniqlo U tag made it in here. This sticker that I got from my friend Take made it here. This is peeled off from an ice cream, like free ice cream that we got at a sushi restaurant because the line was really long and we had to wait outside in the cold for a bit. I have stuff from my Muji packaging and a fortune cookie thing. Like, I'm trying to use more found ephemera in here, and yeah, it feels good. So yeah, this whole system right now is like a favorite, and I've been keeping it like this. But there's one other thing that I actually have in here that I will show later on in the miscellaneous portion that I have in this system that makes it very cool. And then lastly, I was talking about how this looks a little bit more visually simple. This setup, I don't think, I've shown this on YouTube, but this is my TSL Kurashiki customized passport size traveler's notebook in brown. I got this when I was in Japan, and this was actually like one of the main things that I wanted to get when I was in Japan because I love the Superior Labor. It's like one of my favorite stationery aligned brands. They make great bags and they make really quality items. And so I wanted to get this customized, and Yuta-san actually was there. He's the one who actually did the customizations, but it was so sweet because someone from Traveler's Company notified him because Traveler's Company and TSL Kurashiki are partners. Like TSL Kurashiki is a partner shop, the only partner shop actually in Japan. And yeah, they notified Yuta that we were coming. So Christina and I, my coworker that was with me during the trip, and also my friend, we both got customized TNs from him, and it was so nice. And I love how this looks. I'll show you right now what customizations I did. I just added this last. This is just like a off-brand Mizuhiki charm. Don't tell anyone from work that this is not the TRC one. But this is the Year of the Dragon patch. This is the on the road. I don't know why I keep saying on the road. Oh, it's on the trip patch. This comes in two colors actually. There's like a dark green and a yellow, but I was already going with the I Heart Handmade green heart here. I went for the leather cord. What is this closure with a yellow glass bead and 2 brass beads, and then I went with the TSL brass charm sewn onto the actual leather. So this is actually the most complicated one, more complicated than the other cover that I got actually. And then I just have the regular not L shape. The L shape would be like the secretarial. This is just kind of like a back pocket where I keep ephemera. And then I have a pen loop in the brown leather. I just use brown leather. And then this was a little bit of a special kind of situation because a lot of people actually just get this pocket with rivets, and it's usually just sewn on the top and bottom edge, and it's just kind of free hanging. But I think Yuta-san had a example where it was sewn in like this, and you can kind of use it like a wallet. And so I thought that was really cool, and I was debating about if I was going to use this as a wallet. Update, I am not using this as a wallet yet, but in the future I can. But he added this kind of same piece of leather as he did here, and then this is actually sewn floating in there so that this can get as fat as it needs to with coins and whatever, and it won't be restricted by it being sewn onto the TN. So I thought that was really cool and clever, like engineering and design. Yeah, I think if you're gonna go to TSL Kurashiki and you want this, you can just screenshot this video. I think the example is there too, but the example that they had there is that this pocket was facing the outside. So if you were gonna use it as a wallet, the cash or whatever you have is more susceptible to falling out. I mean, you'll still have your closure, which will keep it from, falling out, but this just adds, added security that it's in the inside pocket. So if I ever end up using this as a wallet, I think it's just gonna have one insert in the inside, and I think it would probably just be like a monthly instead of the monthly and the weekly. But yeah, I think I'll do an in-depth Techo Kaigi update soon, either in the middle of the year or maybe sometime in Q2, because my setup has changed quite a bit. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. I really love this. Like, I just bring this around and I just look at it and it brings me a lot of joy. I'm just so happy. I just love the color scheme of it. Like, I really love primary colors this year, or I've been loving primary colors this year. And so the yellow and the red, this is just the little my red pen. It just looks so cool. But yeah, these are my favorites. And then the last kind of notable mention is that I've been really liking this Butler Werner Sales collaboration with Traveler's Factory. They do a bunch of these. I didn't know. I thought there was only the Kyoto ones. But they do a special design for each of the Traveler's Factory locations. So there's one for, I think there's one for Nakameguro. There's one for, this is the Kyoto. There's the station, and then probably Narita Airport. So yeah, I think there's a version of each for each location, and they also have the regular size. I thought it was only the Kyoto one, so I was like, I need this one, but it's okay. There's like a matcha whisk, and I love matcha, even though I don't have a matcha whisk and container here in LA, so we'll probably have to work on that. But yeah, I really like this. I've been keeping my pencil board here, different ephemera that I want to use in my spreads, and it's just nice to keep ephemera in here for quick access. And I usually store it like this inside so nothing falls out. But technically I can keep ephemera in here, and in here there's so many pockets in this, but I don't know, I just like having this in the back and having access to it, and it just looks really cool with the natural leather. But yeah, these are my favorite notebooks as of late. Let's talk about fountain pens and inks next. Okay, let's talk about pens and fountain pens. The first thing is something that I feel bad showing because it's like sold out and I think it might be discontinued, which is kind of crazy because it's such a great product. But this is the plotter pen. I had this for a while and I never used it. I don't know why, but I was seeing my coworker use it. This is the black one, but I actually have like the pencil version of it in like gold and silver, and I really enjoy that. It actually is a pretty narrow pen, and this is in a matte black finish. I don't think it'll ever be caught on camera, but it has this very fine texture to it. It feels like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just very textured, like like chainmail. Hi, this is Future Job, and I just wanted to say that there's this subtle diamond print that actually yields this fun texture. It's very soft to touch, but it still allows you to grip the pen, and you actually get this texture from a process called knurling, which I didn't actually know how to spell, but it's Knurling, and it's like a metal working procedure. And the cool thing about this pen is that it's also weighted so that you have a lower center of gravity at the nib, so it feels easier to write with for longer periods. Okay, that's enough like technical information. I had to search in the Plotter USA website because I wanted to give you the proper information. But yeah, let's continue listening to rambling Job. Okay, bye. I don't know how to, no, it's a lot more fine than that, but it just has like a subtle texture to it. It feels nice and grippy. It feels really like dry in my hands. Like, you know how some pens just feel inherently slippery just because of like the gloss coating on it? This feels like it's not going to fall off of my hands. I really like thicker barrel pens, but this, for some reason, with my grip, which is quite odd, like this is how I grip my pen, like this or like this. When I'm gripped like this, it still feels really nice. Which is a lot harder sometimes with thicker pens, and I have to grip it like more conventionally. But I've been really liking this. It's black. It has its own gel insert. It's called the ceramic ballpoint 0.5 millimeter. I don't know. I am just not a gel person. You guys know that I only used a uni Jetstream basically for everything in life in terms of non-fountain pen like usage. Sorry, I thought I broke the pen. It's nice. It still works. But it's a twist mechanism. I feel like I kind of broke it. But yeah, I really like how it writes. This is what it looks like. Ooh, a little sneak peek of what's to come in this video. I hope you don't click out. But it's very vibrant. It glides really well on the Plotter DP paper. It works well with many different types of paper. So let's just do a little test. Hello, this is a test. You know, it's just like a black gel pen, but it just works great. And, you know, I think if you do write with it and, you know, smudge it, it'll obviously smear. But if you let it dry, you know, just like when you're writing and you're ready to flip the page, like, it's fine. I mean, there's a little bit, but I don't have any trouble. Like, if I'm just writing and then blah, 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 and then I flip it over, I don't really feel it's ever kind of like, you know, added anything onto the other side of the page. Maybe if we do it really fast. Yeah, like that little dot, like the tiniest dot, but like when are you gonna go like, "Huzzah!" and then like flip it over? But yeah, I've been really liking this for day-to-day writing. It's the only other pen that I've been using aside from my uni Jetstream, which is crazy because I thought I'd never use another pen after that. And I'm talking about non-fountain pens. But yeah, I've been really liking this. I bought this orange pen. This is from the Pentel Matte Hop collection. I think this actually won like a stationery award in Japan or something. But I bought this right when it came out, and holy crap, this is pretty much a paint pen. It is fantastic. It writes like almost like you're writing with a Posca. So it I know it's like it's supposed to be gel ink, but it feels the consistency and the way it looks feels like a uni Posca paint marker. So this is a 1.0 nib. It's super thick, super opaque. This writes on black paper and like other, you know, tinted papers, but it shines on black paper. Obviously this one works on white paper or cream paper, and I bought the cream one when I was in Japan. And I have yet to take off the little red protective thing. Obviously you'll never be able to see it on the cream, but on the cream paper, but it's amazing. I should get some black paper so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, I've been really liking the Matte Hop series. I was gonna buy the whole set in Japan, but I have my uni Posca paint markers, which does the job, but I think I want to look into these in the future. But they are, I mean, they're kind of pricey per pen. So if you do like them, maybe just get the set so you can save a little bit of money if you find that you're going to end up collecting them down the road. But yeah, I can't wait to try other colors. Obviously, maybe I'll do an insert clip so you can see how the cream looks, but it's great. I love it. And yeah, let's move on to fountain pens. Let's talk all things fountain pens. So first things first, I really want to talk about this Segeha print rickshaw pen case. I got this, I think last year around, actually the time that I moved here, around August, when they released the Retro 51 collaboration with Rickshaw. It has the same Segeha wave print, and I really enjoyed that pen and this print. And I don't think I was using this just because I was using my Rickshaw sleeve, the 3-pen sleeve, the 3-pen koozie. But now that I've been carrying a few more pens with me, this has been really nice. And this still fits the 3-pen sleeve here. I think they market this as being able to hold the 2-pen sleeve like comfortably, but it still fits the 3-pen sleeve. And so when I want to carry like 9 pens with me, that's what I bring. But I don't know, ever since I started using Rickshaw, they're really the only pen case that I like to use for fountain pens because they really do protect them. I would say the koozie is still the more protective one because it covers the pen all the way till the top of the pen with their like ultra soft material. I forget what this is called again. Ultra plush. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, I still like this. I put my less kind of precious pens on this side because they don't have a like sewn in dividers, so they kind of may touch and cause a little bit of friction and maybe even some scratching between them. But I've been finding that okay, and usually when I put the pen clip over the actual lip of this pocket, it keeps it from moving. But I've been liking this because it carries everything nice and safe and secure. And yeah, I've been loving this, and I love that it can store again my 3-pen sleeve. Actually, I find that having the 3-pen sleeve here is the most ideal way of protecting the pens because the 3-pen koozie actually covers each of these pens so they don't actually touch when you close them. As you can see, like for this, I kind of have to like stagger them so they don't touch. But this is just me being overly. I'm actually not that protective of my fountain pens, but in the past I scratched my fountain pens a lot, and so now I'm trying to be extra careful because a lot of my pens have a bunch of scratches. But again, I don't really mind the scratches; just means that I love to use them. But I digress. These are the two pens that I want to talk. Actually, these are the three pens I want to talk about. So the first one that I absolutely really enjoy is actually a pretty affordable pen. This is the Platinum Preppy. I actually never owned a Platinum Preppy, so this is my first one. But oh shoot, almost dropped it. The Platinum Preppy, I can never pronounce this. Perpenep. Pilot Perpenep. It's supposed to be pen and paper, but I can never say it. I don't know, there's just something very Muji vibes about it that I really enjoy. Very sleek, and this is like a push cap. And apparently the Preppies have like one of the best like suction seals for like a push and pull cap. And yeah, I know like some people are kind of like Platinum Preppy haters or snobs, but not snobs, but I really enjoy it. I think the Preppy works great and the Kakuno works great. I'm just a big fan of like that entry level pen like space because they actually write so well. Like I rather write with this honestly than other pens because it writes so smoothly, like just as smooth as these guys, and these are like maybe not 8 times, like they're double the price. No, definitely more than double the price. But yeah, I really like this, and I have the Portland Rain ink, or as we like to call it on this channel, the wet ass ink, the wet asphalt. It's asphalt, right? But yeah, that's the ink that I have in here. I really enjoy it, and I write with this pretty often. And I love that minimalist vibe on it. It has that very like study gram Muji. Clean girl. Actually, no, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm just throwing random adjectives here. And then I absolutely love these two pens. So this is the Pilot. I always forget the full name of this. Let me refer to my notes. This is a Pilot 742. I know that says 742. I always just call it the Maruzen pen. But this is the Tokyo Renga pen. And it's an exclusive for Maruzen Marinucci. And I got this in a medium nib. And if you love the Pilot Custom E23, this is like a nice younger brother to it. I really love the size and weight of it. And this particular model has this lovely like texture on it. Again, I can't explain texture very well, but it has like this subtle kind of, almost looks like herringbone print, but not. But you can feel that texture on there. It's very subtle. It's not as intense as the texture on my stainless steel plotter pen. This feels less intense, but you can still feel the texture, and it feels great. One of my favorite things about this pen is that it's heavily inspired by Tokyo Station, like Tokyo Station Marinucci. And so since this can only be purchased at the Marinucci Maruzen, it features that kind of iconic Tokyo Station red brick color, and you can also see a brick pattern on the nib. So cool. I love this. It writes so smoothly, and it's definitely one of my favorites from this year. Let me just grab some paper. It's so nice. And then this is a good transition because I love this ink. So this ink that I have in here is Tacha Ben. Oh, not. Sorry, the ink is not Ben. Ooh, it's Benitsuchi. Let me just double check. Benitsuchi. So the ink that I have in here, I was really trying to find this kind of like red brick color. I'm into red right now. I love red. And so I wanted to find the perfect matching ink. This is a little bit more orangey than the actual color of the pen. Actually, I lie. It's pretty much spot on. But this ink is beautiful. It's like a beautiful red brick color. On the actual pen, I have a medium nib, so you can still see some nice shading, but the darkest parts of it look very bricky red, and then the lightest parts are kind of like orangey red, which is nice. And I love a warm tone red specifically, and so this is very nice to write with. It doesn't look like, you know, when you're using like a red gel pen, or when your teacher marks. Well, when I was teaching, I never marked with red because it's too harsh, and that's something we learned in school. I always use like green or orange, obviously my favorite colors. But I don't know. This is such a nice and subtle red. Like, it's not in your face. You can write with it in your journal, and it's not like, whoa, I'm looking at a big mass of red text. It almost just kind of looks like brown from far away, like a nice red brown. But I love this everyday red, and then obviously in a swatch, it's stunning as well. So really love this ink. And in terms of like how it works on different papers and pens, it looks really good on all papers that I've tried. So Tomoe River paper, and also the Midori MD paper, and also the Plotter DP paper. It particularly looks great on the Plotter DP paper, and I've seen no like bleed through, just, you know, ghosting, especially on these thinner paper stocks. But even on the Plotter paper, like, the ghosting is very minimal. So yeah, really love this pen and ink combo, and I'll probably only ever ink this with this because I found the ink that I love for it. But yeah, love this pen, love how smooth it writes. And then, oh my gosh, guys, this is the last fountain pen we're going to talk about. This is the Pilot Capless, also known as Vanishing Point. This is the Pilot Capless in the limited edition 2023 model called Whiskey. And it's weird, it's actually spelled without the H in whiskey. When they were promoting it on Instagram, like when Pilot was showcasing it. But if you actually look at the packaging, it actually has the right spelling of whiskey. So I don't know. I feel like maybe they just spelled it wrong for the Instagram post. I'm not sure. But when I opened up the packaging, it said Pilot Whiskey, and it was spelled correctly. But this colorway is supposed to evoke, you know, that lovely liquor drink whiskey. I guess there's also inspiration by the wood barrels and the different variations of brown color of different whiskeys. There's a nice like gradient from light to dark, and this is matte. This is so cool. So the actual pen body is matte, and then obviously the hardware is gold, and then it's a clicky pen. I can't believe it took me this long to own a Pilot Vanishing Point. I always thought that the Vanishing Point was actually going to be my first gold nib pen, and yeah, I was so shocked when I ended up buying a Pro Gear Slim Mini. I still think it might have been better if I bought, you know, I'm still really into that pen. It's the Pilot Vanishing Point in matte black. I still want it. It's like a pen that I want in my collection, and I feel like that would be a nice like daily driver pen. But this one I actually baby. Like, I am careful about putting it back in the case. I don't really leave it like on the table like this ever. It's either in my hands or in like a pen case, just because I don't really want to scratch this. And this was pretty pricey, but I bought it in Japan, and there was no resellers involved, and I was purchasing this when the yen was quite low. So everything worked in its favor, and this was actually quite a good price. Like I think it's being sold for like 600 in the market here, and I bought it for less than half of that. So this was like the deal of the century, I feel like, because this is I would not pay $600 for this. This was definitely not that expensive. So yeah, I lucked out because of the exchange rate, being in Japan, and yeah, just having tax-free as well was helpful. So this is one of my favorite pen purchases, these two actually. And I can't wait to continue using this, and I will update you with, how I've been liking it. But I have a fine nib. So this is my first fine nib, gold nib pen. And this writes smoothly. I don't feel like it's scratchy at all. And I can't wait to add more Pilot capless or vanishing points to my collection. Obviously in a very slow and sustainable manner because they are pricey pens, but they are really damn good. Again, if you get this, be sure to try it out in person. This grip, this is where the clip rests because you actually have to store it like this because the nib is this way. So the clip is actually placed there so that you actually store it upright, because if the clip was where it would normally be, it would be stored upside down and the nib would be facing downward, so that's not good. So that's why the clip is designed to be up front, and it kind of forces you to have a certain grip. So if you have a weird grip or have a hard time like gripping like a triangular grip pen, be sure to try it out in person because it can be a little bit hard to use if you don't have a certain grip. I think I have a weird grip and I just have to like play around with it. Usually I'll start writing like this. This is one of my pen grips, but it's not the most comfortable for me. So usually I'll end up like doing that and it still feels good. There's so many like I can even grip it like how I normally grip it and it still works good too. So it really depends on you, but again, I would really recommend that you try a vanishing point in person first before committing. And I think that is it for pens. Let's talk about miscellaneous stationery. Okay, this is the final category. This is miscellaneous stationery, and there's quite a bit, so we'll go a little bit faster. The first thing I want to show is this washi dispenser that I got from work when I was in Japan. It is so cool. It's magnetic, so you can just put it on like your fridge or whatever magnetic metal thing that you have around you. I'm trying to find metal things. So this Toyo steel box, this can just stick onto it. And you just click this and it gives you about maybe 2 centimeters or 1.5 centimeters worth of washi tape. And then you can click it twice and it'll double the amount, or you can do 3 times. You can keep going infinitely, honestly. And you just tear. It can fit 1.5 centimeter washi tapes, and I've been really liking this for when I'm packing Patreon orders. So that's the first thing. I just been really liking it, and I just love how handy it is, especially with the magnet. I just put it right on top of this and it just sticks, and I really like that. So that's the first thing. The next thing is washi related. I got this washi tape from when I was in Japan. I bought this at the Traveler's Factory store. I believe I bought this at the Kyoto location. And it's just this luggage tag washi tape, and I love it so much. It's so versatile. I love the colors. They're very bright and vibrant, but it's still quite usable in my journal spreads. I've been using this in my monthly and weekly spreads a lot, and I just love this. This is probably my favorite one right now. It is so good. Again, you can only really get this at the Traveler's Factory store. So if you're in Japan, be sure to get it. I think you can get it on like Etsy from resellers, but it's honestly not worth the price just because how expensive it is. So if you have a friend traveling to Japan, maybe just ask them. And yeah, I've been really enjoying storing this in my Toyo Steel Traveler's Company box. Some of you might be wondering like, whoa, what the heck is going here? This Toyo Steel box is actually untreated, so it's just the regular steel. It's uncoated, and the Traveler's Factory or Traveler's Notebook team decided that they wanted their collaborative Toyo Steel box to be like this because they wanted that vintage, worn-in look, and this will like oxidize over time and be a little bit more rusty. Obviously, you got to be careful because rust is not the best thing for you, but I've been enjoying how it's been aging and oxidizing. I don't think there's any true rust on this. It's just oxidizing. But yeah, someone who knows more about rust can inform me. Is this a health hazard? But I don't think it is. But yeah, I really like it, and I like how it says Travel Toolbox on it. It says Traveler's Company. I haven't owned a Toyo steel box. I know they're quite popular within the community, and a lot of people like to keep them on their desks, like open like this. And I think it's super cool. The ones that I have been eyeing actually are from High Tide. At the downtown LA store, I saw that they had a red, yellow, and blue in like the classic primary colors. I don't think they're actually sold on the regular Toyo Steel website because those are collaborative colorways for High Tide. So I definitely want all three, but you know, it's still quite pricey. So I definitely will check that out in the future. But this is my first one, and I love it so much, and it stores so many washies. So when I go to like meetups, stationery events, I like to bring this. It's quite heavy, so just for local events, and I bring this so I can share some washies with friends. The next thing that I've been loving is actually these stickers from my friend's shop, Florence Live Life and Create. Florence or Momager, lovely, so lovely, sent this over. I think a while back, because some of these are offcuts or things that she had leftovers in her shop. If Florence doesn't have her shop open, wow, the Filipino accent came out again. If her shop isn't open, be sure to message her and tell her that I sent you so that she can open her shop again. But I've been really liking these stickers. They're all kind of like vintagey themed or San Francisco themed, or travel themed. I don't live in the Bay Area, but there's this running joke that I live in Milpitas. So part of me is a Bay Area boy, even though I've only been there like 2 times in my life. But I will be going again this year, so I will be a true Bay Area boy in the future. I just like saying that. But yeah, I've been really liking these, and they are the perfect size for the type of journaling that I've been doing, which is like the weekly and monthly journaling. Because the space is a little bit smaller and a little bit more confined, these stickers are a little bit smaller, and they work well in that space. So I've been liking this. And then one thing that I have been enjoying is stamping more. I have shown my favorite Everyday Explorer stamps a lot on the channel, but I actually haven't shown any actual stamps that are wooden or like, I don't know, non-acrylic. So I got this stamp from Kamihaku, which is a paper expo convention in Kobe, Japan. And this is from the brand, I forget his name, but it's the brand with the bear. I love it so much.
His name is Masao Takahara.
I'll leave it on the screen, or maybe
Masao Takahara
in the description bar. But I just love it so much. It's a bear like holding a salmon. It's kind of sad actually now that I think about it. And then the date goes inside. It's so cute. And then to change the date, you just lift this up and you twist. So as easy as that. And then you push it back down and you're ready to stamp again. So cute. Okay, so now I'm just cleaning the stamp. But yeah, I've been loving this. It's just so cute. So yeah, I got that from Kamihaku, but the brand is
Masao Takahara.
Tamura. No, I don't even remember. And then this other stamp that I have is from MA7 stamp, and it's just like a crescent moon stamp. It's very lovely and simple. Kind of reminds me of my Yon Charm stamps back in Canada. It's so pretty. I told myself I wouldn't get into wooden stamps here in LA just because it takes up a lot of space, but there's also a lovely charm to these wooden stamps, because you can't restamp them easily because you can't see where you're really stamping them, so you kind of have one shot. So there's like a nice analog charm to it. But I still love my Everyday Explorers acrylic stamps, but I just wanted to show some love to some of these wooden stamps, or these what are these called, handle stamps. But yeah, these are lovely. Both got them at Kamihaku in Japan. And I think I got a few more, but these are the ones that I have consistently been using a lot. And if you're wondering how I clean my stamps, this is how I clean my stamps. I just stamp it on scrap paper until all the residue is out. So I will like do a deep clean here and there, but usually that's just how I clean them. But I try to clean them up if there's still a lot of gunk. Like this one, see these edges? Like, it's nice to kind of just clean them up using some scrap paper. Wow, I say that I don't clean them and I'm like intensely trying to take off all this spare ink. But yeah, there's the stamp ink. And then in terms of like cases, I was using this a lot when I was in Vancouver. This is like a notebook therapy, like Delphonics small pouch dupe. I don't know how I feel about sharing the dupes, but this is still a lovely, I mean, the Delphonics pouch has been kind of copied a lot, but this one is the smaller version, and I just like how there's so many pockets. So there's an interior pocket here. And heads up though, I got this sent for free maybe a year or two ago, and I actually haven't used it. I was just cleaning up my stuff and I found this in Vancouver, and I was like, oh, I should really use this. And I was using this in Vancouver for a month and I really liked it. It still has that Velcro back pocket, but there's this zippered pocket inside. And then there's these pockets here. So 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 pockets plus this. So 6, 7, 8. And then the main compartment. And I've just been keeping all of my mild liners and all my dot markers in here. So the Zig Clean Color dots and then the mild liners in here, and it's been so nice. I just have been when I was in Canada, actually, I would keep everything in here. So I had my scissors in here, just because I had family over while I was visiting Canada, so I didn't have access to my room because family members from the Philippines were staying in there, and so I had to be mobile with my journaling setup. So I had like my stamp, I had my watercolor palette in there. I had, some washi tapes, and I had my pens, like, whoa, I just rolled this. I would keep some of my pens here, and yeah, everything was like in just one little pouch, and it was so easy to journal. Like, I actually just had a bunch of stickers in the back like this. And this was like my mobile journaling setup. I just had scissors and then I had a glue stick here. And it was perfect. And yeah, this was definitely a favorite, and I can't wait to implement that here because I've been really loving journaling in bed, and it's actually quite nice to like wind down and write and do a little bit of doodling right before going to bed. It's a nice way to calm my mind. So I can imagine that this would be part of that like bed journaling kit. And I just like this beige color. It's very clean. And it was part of the Hinoki lineup from Notebook Therapy. The last 2 things I wanted to mention are this palette. You've probably seen the travel and sketch palettes from Travelers Company USA. I have the green one that was sent to me since I did a watercolor Zoom class with Travelers Company before I started working for them officially. And yeah, I've been loving that smaller palette. But when I was here, I actually got this larger palette. This is the folio size instead of the pocket size, which is really just this small, like this rectangle right here. This is nice because there's more room and it can hold more paints. And I have pretty much the same exact paint colors that I had in my pocket palette, but I bought 4 new paint colors to supplement it, and I actually just filled them all in this kind of larger size or standard size pan, because they have ones that are just like a tiny square, which I was using in my my pocket palette, but this folio can accommodate, there's more space. So I had I decided to just make everything this one pan size. And I was supposed to fill this with white gouache, but I forgot to do it before I left. And then I'm just going to keep this plain and then this as a mixing area. But at least having this area here allows me to expand my palette if I buy more paints here in California. So I've been really liking this, and I've been doing a lot more watercolors in general. So let me just grab my traveler's notebook so you can see. I've been really enjoying watercoloring a little bit more. So there's this spread that I absolutely love. This is the Black Dog pop-up that was in Long Beach. So if you were there, thanks for coming and saying hi. But yeah, I've been trying to journal more in my passport size, and so I've been trying to paint more, and this is a nice way to use my watercolor paints in these tiny little weekly comics that I like to do. But yeah, that was my second to last favorite. We still sell these on Travelers Company USA, so be sure to check it out. But the nice thing is that we also have the larger size in the green. So I had the green palette that has the this one, have a good day, good music, good coffee, and a good notebook print on the green palette, the one that I have in the pocket size, but we have it in the folio size as well. So I'm still debating if I want that, because as much as I love this like brassy gold color, I do love a green moment, and so I'm thinking about if I should get the green version of this, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll update you all. And then the last thing that I wanted to show is a DIY project that I've been loving. I don't know if I'll do a full video about this in the future or a how-to, because I didn't get to film it while I was in Canada with my sewing machine. But I made these these clear folders with pockets. So I did this before in the past. I'll link the tutorial in the description bar, but in the past I would actually just sew a leather pen loop and then have clear plastic pockets. But I decided for this version, I basically converted the clear folders from the coffee and notebooks theme from last year. I bought 2 of these specifically so I could DIY this. It just took me a year to do it. But I finally decided to give sewing leather a go with my sewing machine, and it worked all right. I used a leather needle. I put tape on the bottom of my foot, which I didn't buy a walking foot from my sewing machine. I probably should have, but the tape helped it glide nicely. And I bought leather thread, and I just think my sewing machine, it's almost as old as me. It's like an older brother sewing machine, and it's definitely not made to sew heavy materials like this. So it didn't work the best, and I didn't have the most amazing control. But you can see my lines aren't, the neatest and the straightest when I was trying to sew and navigate it. But I think it looks cool, and it turned this kind of folder, which I probably would have used for a little bit and then moved on to the next design the next year, into something that has more longevity, because it's a full-on like leather pocket thing. So I've been liking this for my passport size traveler's notebook, and then I made a regular size one with, again, this is so cool. This is not the best sewing. Like, this is actually the worst. I'm so sad that this is so wonky, especially on the nicest piece of leather that I had. So I only just used scrap leather that I had lying around at home. So I bought some leather many years back from this art. It's almost like a junk store. They sell used art supplies and art materials. So there was scrap leather there, and I bought like natural leather there and like this darker leather there for like $1 a piece, and it was actually a nice piece of leather. So that's what I used for this and this. But this was Superior Labor leather that came with my patch. They used to mount their patches on leather instead of paper, and I've been hoarding that piece of leather, and I decided to use it. But my sewing here is not the best. Like, yeah, it's not that good, but it's okay. It's the vibes. And then I have this leather piece from an old Chic Sparrow notebook that I just took the pocket off because I wasn't using it. I just like seam ripped the pocket off and cut it down. And it looks so good. That looks so official. Like, look at that. The song on the back's like meh, like yikes, and then it's fine here. And then the bottom's great. But you can see, guys, do you remember the Franken leather? It was the purple leather A5 traveler's notebook that they sent me. It was like this Barney purple, and I really didn't use it. Purple's probably my least favorite color. So I dyed it like this inky brown, black, dark purple. It looks like black brown to me, but I think it looks cool. And this one, you can still see the slot. Obviously I couldn't like dye the inside, so there's a little bit of dye that's seeped through, but there's some parts that are not. So I don't know, it's just part of the story, the little Barney legacy of this leather. But I don't know, I just think this looks so cool. And earlier I was saying this was the last piece of the traveler's notebook that I had, and I think with this in it, it just completes the vibe. Like, it just looks so cool with, you know, everything in here. So I'm just trying to style it so you can get a vision of what I was talking about. Like, it was like this, and then I wouldn't ever keep this pen exposed like this, but it can fit in here. It's all good. So yeah, this is the last thing. Let me know if you want a more detailed video about Traveler's Notebook customizations. I'll let you know if I have enough clips from past videos to string together a more detailed tutorial, but let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. But yeah, that is it for my Q1 favorites. I hope you enjoyed watching that. It was a lot. It was a long video, but it was nice to just chat and geek out about stationery. If you want more chatty videos like this, be sure to follow me on Patreon. I have new videos there for the cracklings tier 2 to 3 times a month. So that would be, you know, on top of the YouTube videos that you see. So there's always, you know, content on there on Patreon if you're looking for more videos. And obviously I do printables there, and then I have a mailing tier where I send a piece of Happy Mail to you, usually a postcard, to your doorstep. This is this month's theme right here. It's very flower inspired. So yeah, be sure to check me out on Patreon. It's the best way to support my channel directly, and I will see you in the next one. I think that's it. Do I have any updates?
If you made it to the end of this video, leave a pen emoji in the comments below so I know you're part of the end of video gang.
I think that's it. Okay, I love you so much. Please take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.